Okay, this topic is substitution, and we're going to show you how to work out values using substitutions. So it's a combination of algebra and order of operation. This is called an expression, and we want to evaluate this expression. We want to see what values can it take. Well, to do that, we have to know the value of x. So I'm going to call x equal to 3 here. I'm going to work out this expression. So if we let x equals 3, all we do is we take x equal to 3 and we put 3 in for x here, and we work out the expression. So here we go. This expression will equal 2 times 3 plus 4. And that gives me, well, you have to know your order of operation well. We must do multiplication before we do addition. So 2 3s are 6, plus 4, that equals 10. So my answer is 10. Now, I'm going to give a different expression here. So I'm going to write this the other way around. So all I'm doing here is putting the 4 first plus 2x. Now, this will test whether you know your order of operation. I'm keeping x equal to 3, and if we work that out, then that's going to be 4 plus 2 times 3. Well, that's going to give me 4 plus, remember, we must do multiplication first, gives me 6, and the answer is 10. Lots of people make the mistake by doing 4 plus 2 is 6, 9 times and 3 and getting 18. That's wrong. You need to know your order. Remember brackets, then other, then division, multiplication, add and subtract. That's all that you must do it. Okay, and that's all there is to substitution. Now, we can keep the same expression, so I'll just write 2x plus 4 again, and I'll make x this time equal to minus 5, or negative 5. Now again, order of operation and your negative numbers this time, so this is a wee bit more complicated. So we're letting the x equal to negative 5 this time. Well, that's going to be 2 times negative 5. Let's put that in a wee bracket to keep it nice and neat. 2 times negative 5 plus 4. Well, we must do the multiplication first. So 2 times negative 5 is negative 10 plus 4. And again, you have to be good with your negative numbers. I have negative 10 counters and I've got 4 positive counters, and then 4 positive cancel will be 4 negatives to give me 0, and I'm left with negative 6 counters. So my answer is negative 6. Now we can make the expression a wee bit more complicated, so I expect you to know how to multiply out a bracket and to deal with powers. So let's make the expression a wee bit harder this time. So I'm going to write it down maybe as, let's see, 3 minus a squared. And I'm going to let a equal 2. So a is equal to 2. Do that a wee bit better. Equal to 2. So what would this expression be? Well, that would be equal to 3 minus 2 squared. Now again, order of operation, you must do your power first, so 2 to the power 2, so that's going to give me 3 minus 4, and 3 minus 4, well again that's your negative numbers, equals minus 1. That is minus 1. Okay, so that's a wee bit harder this time because we've got a power in it. Let's make it a wee bit harder again, and we'll put a bracket in this time. So let's make up an expression. Let's make it b bracket c minus a. So this time it's all letters. Well, we have to know what the letters stand for before we can work out the expression. So let's just make it up. Let's a equal 1, b equal 2, and c equal 3. Just make the numbers nice and easy. Well, what does that mean to us? Well, remember that this means b times all of that bracket, and we must do the bracket first. So let's put the numbers in. So that expression is going to be 2 bracket, my c is 3, so I need to put 3 in here, minus my a, which is 1. That's me just substituting in the numbers for the letters. Well, it tells us that we must do the bracket first. That's our order of operation. So if we multiply, if we find the value of that bracket, we get 3 minus 1 is 2, so that's going to be 2, and my bracket comes to 2, so that's 2 times 2, because that's 2 times the bracket, and my answer is 4. Let's put a division in this time. So let's look at m minus n all over 10. And we'll let m, in this case, equal, I don't know, 50. And we'll let n equal 6. So what's the value of that expression when m is 50 and n is 6? Well, let's put our values in. So that's going to be 50 minus my 6 all over my 10. Now, our order of operation tells us that we have to do a division, but we have to know what the top bit comes to before we can divide, because it's the whole of the top divided by the 10. So we have to know what the top bit is before we divide by 10. I hope you can see that, because it's all of the top divided by 10. Well, all of the top comes to 50 minus 6, which is 44, and that's divided by 10. Well, we should all know how to divide by 10. Move the point one place to the left. If you don't see the point, it's at the end of the number. It's a whole number, so the point's at the end, and we divide by 10. So my answer is 4.4. Okay. Let's do another couple. Again, I'll just make them up. We'll make them a wee bit trickier again this time. These ones here are a wee bit tricky, but let's look at something again a wee bit trickier. So let's go for c equal to, c, I'll change that, I think, just to 10d plus 5 divided by 5, do something like that. Well, what's my d? Excuse me. Let's d equal, what would make that? Let's make it, I don't know, 4. Let's make it 4. So d is equal to 4. In that case, the expression becomes 10 times 4 plus 5 all over 5. Well, we need to find out what the top is first, and then we divide all that by 5. So work out the top first. So we have to do 10 times 4, which is going to be 40, plus the 5 over 5. Again, let's finally get the total of the top. That's 40 plus 5, which is 45. And then we divide that by 5. And our answer is 9. Okay. Right, one final one. Let's make it 3a bracket b squared minus c to the power of 2. We'll let a equal minus 1. We'll let b equal 1. And we'll let c equal 2. Just keep the numbers nice and easy. Well, if we substitute in there, that's going to be 3 times negative 1. And then we've got this big bracket. B squared, that's 1 squared minus 2, and all squared. So this looks quite complicated, doesn't it? Well, we have to do it inside the bracket first here. So that's going to be 3 times negative 1, which we'll do in a wee minute. The bracket. Well, 1 squared minus 2. Well, 1 squared is 1, minus 2 is minus 1, and that's all squared. So the next wee bit, minus 1 squared, well that's minus 1 times a minus 1. A negative times another negative gives me a positive, so that's going to be 3 bracket minus 1. And this part here comes to 1. So all of that bit comes to 1. And now we've just got multiplication. 3 times negative 1 is negative 3 times another 1. Final answer is negative 3. Okay, so that's substitution for you. We started off nice and easy, and then we got a wee bit harder, and then we got another wee bit harder again. Now, what things do we have to think about here? Well, it's all to do with algebra, so you have to be able to multiply out a bracket, deal with brackets, and you have to know what powers are, and you have to know what your order of operation is. What order do we do them in? It's very, very easy to get these things wrong if you don't do them in the right order. And another wee complication we put in is we were dealing with negative numbers sometimes. So there's a negative 5 there, and then we had a negative 1 here, and that type of idea. So negative numbers come into it as well. But the most important thing is you have to do it in the right order. Most people can substitute the numbers in, but then they forget to do the sum in the right order. Okay, so that's the first part of substitution. In the next video, we'll do substitution, but we'll use equations in the next video. Now, it's very, very, very similar to what we just did here. Notice this is an expression because it doesn't have an equal sign. When you have an expression equal to something, that's called an equation, and we'll deal with that in the next video, as I say. Okay, that's it.